here is to week 10. No, 11. In week 11 of the KML league we got going on here, we have 3 short weeks left. 11, 12, 13. This is the final playoff push of all the teams trying to make those final playoff spots, get into that ever-important 6th seed, because anything can happen once you reach the playoffs. Just ask Rob Luck year 1. I think Joel won it as a 4 seed. I think mine was a 2. I don't know. Anyway, usually seeds don't matter when it comes to playoff time. If your team gets hot at the right time, you can win it all. So we're going to do something a little bit different today. I'm going to rip through the games pretty quick because I want to talk about what the last 3 weeks look like, what some of the scenarios are, who's eliminated, who's got some chances to still be in there. So with that said, we're going to get right to the first game. The first game we're going to talk about is the Go Cubs Go, 3-7, 11th place, going up against the K-Bo Go, 7-3, 3rd place. These teams are opposite ends of the spectrum and also opposite ends of the social lifestyle and the general overall happiness of their lives. The line in this one favors the K-Bo Goes heavily. 20-plus points, all-time record also favors the K-Bo Goes 3-1 against Scotty. Both these teams coming off losses. Scott lost to Bill, Maine lost to Turo. As for the matchup, I don't like Scott's matchups very well this week. I think he's got some tough matchups. Jameis to Kansas City specifically bothers me. I don't think that's going to be a good matchup for him. But I don't even think the matchups really matter because K-Bo Ghosts are a fucking powerhouse. Going to kick Scott's ass. This game's over early. Maine's the pick. Lock it in. K-Bo Ghosts taking the W. Moving to 8-3. Game number 2. Game number 2 is... This is my white mare. 8-2. 2nd place going up against the Buddy Van Doodles. 4-6. 9th place. Buddy Van Doodles has been downhill. I think they have the longest losing streak in the league. Not looking good for them. The line on this, however, surprisingly even between these two teams. This is going to be very interesting because I love the even line. I think there's a lot of chance for an upset here, which is going to throw some playoff seeding into some disarray. All-time record, 3-1 favors Turo. Both these teams are heading in different directions again. We got Turo beating the KBGs last week. Great win for him. We got Wingus losing to Vitali. Terrible loss for him. The interesting thing that's come down to this matchup is Rogers has Sunday Night Football, which could be pretty big number there. But there's going to be a wild card because Wingus has 2 players, Hopkins and Cooper, or Crabtree, Hopkins and Crabtree. Monday Night Football, but not just any Monday Night Football. Monday Night Football on the other side of the wall, south of the border, where all the cheap labor is. Mexican Monday Night Football, MMNF. Gonna be crazy. I don't really know what to expect there. I think, though, in this matchup, I'm gonna pick Wingus because, first off, you got law of averages. He has to get hot at some point. His team hasn't scored a touchdown in like 3 weeks, so it's about time he scores a touchdown. Secondly, I think the Mexican game actually results in a lot of offense. I think that favors Wingus in this matchup. I'm going to say Wingus in a very close matchup. Wins it on Monday night. Wingus, lock it in. Game 3, go. Oh, disgusting. The next game, Vitali Squad 4-6. 7th place going up against the Reading Dwayne Bow. 7-3, 4th place. Underrated sneaky team. Reader's sneaky this year. Keep an eye on them. Line on this one heavily favors the Reader by about 10. All-time record, however, 3-1 Vit. So, something's got to give in this matchup. Both these teams coming off wins. Vitali beat Wingus last week. That's a good win for Vitali. Much needed hit that win. Rogers ended up dethroning the GOAT, showing everybody that God bleeds if you cut him, and he has been cut. So both these teams coming off wins, looking to carry that momentum into this matchup. This game actually is going to be hilarious because this game comes down to tonight, Thursday Night Football, because you got Carolina Panthers, you got New Orleans Saints. It couldn't be even a better matchup because on one side you got Vitali, who's got Cam, and he's got Stewart, and on the other side you got a Reader, who's got Breeze, and he's got Ingram. Perfect. I love the symmetry, the matchup. A lot of head-to-head there, a lot of synergy, a lot of intercourse. The pick in this matchup I'm going to go with Rodgers because Vitaly's team is just garbage. He has had the season from hell. Cam hasn't played as well as he should have. Gurley's been absolute dog shit. He looks like an RB2 the rest of the way. Tops. I don't think I'd trade him at this point. Thank God he didn't trade me Brady for Cam earlier in the year. Yeah, so I'm picking Rodgers. Let's lock that in right here, right now. This matchup, all determined on Thursday Night Football. Who has the lead, I think, wins the matchup, but that is going to be Rodgers. Lock it in. Game 4, off we go. I want this. Game 4. Sharknado. Return of. Sharknado, return of. 4-6, 8th place, going up against Chalupa Batman. 3-7, 10th place. This is going to be interesting. This was almost the Keg Watch game because you have a little bit of a heavy favorite in Rob, about 5, 6, 7 points there. All-time record, all locked up, dos to dos. These teams heading in different directions. You got Rob, he lost to Minot last week. That was not the lot. That's not what he wanted. He thought he got this shit on track. He was feeling pretty good. He was not very good. He lost to Minot. However, Bill, he got a win against Scott, and that may have saved him to Keg Watch getting that, not only that win to get that third win, but also the tiebreak over Scott if it comes to it. I like it. So we got Sharknado losing, Chalupa winning. This game, as far as the matchup goes, Rob, very Sunday Night Football heavy. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. There's got a lot of guys going Sunday Night Football. Bill's done early, so it's going to be catch up for Rob. Bill is a little bit of trouble because he doesn't have an RB to start. He's starting some no-name guy looking for a touchdown. Hopefully gets a goal line carry. I don't know if it happens. But the pick I'm making on this one is Bill, and I've got no rationale for it beyond I love anarchy, and I want to see Bill win. So if Bill wins this matchup, that would be awesome. Getting a 4 and 7, we'd have a shitload of 4 and 7 teams with 2 weeks remaining. Very exciting. I'm going for Bill. That means game number 5 in Burke. The next game we're talking about is the Keg Watch game. It's the game that is the one that has the most influence on the Keg Watch. And the game, of course, it had to be J. Rod the Bod, 2 and 8, 12th place, going up to the Skur, 5 and 5. I think he's in 6th, 5th place, right around there, middle and around playoffs. This is the game that I am picking for Keg Watch because J. Rod needs to get a win. He gets to 3 wins, shit gets crazy. He stays at 2 wins, it's kind of boring for the Keg Watch. So, he really needs this win against Minot. I think he might be able to get it done. However, Minot, huge favorite. 20-point plus favorite in this game. It's enormous. All-time record, though, surprisingly, one of the only 3 people J-Rod has a winning record against in the league. One of them is Minot. He is leading the all-time record 3-1. Last week, Jared lost to Moto. However, Minot beat Rob. I think the biggest thing about this is Jared had a great showing, put up over 100 points. You got to be happy about that. Bodes well for him going into this week. Is Russell Wilson back to the old Russell Wilson? Because if he is, shit could get interesting. As for Minot, he's going to score a shitload of points early. I mean, he's got like everybody going at 1. It's going to be ridiculous. Jared's going to be playing catch-up from the start. He needs Starks to have a great game on Sunday Night Football or whatever the hell he plays. However, the pick I'm going to make is J-Rod because I love anarchy. I'm picking with my heart. I'm not picking with my head this week. I'm picking with my heart. And I'm rooting. I'm pulling for J-Rod because I think it would be great to have a crazy last 2 weeks. So, J-Rod, Keg Watch game, gets him to 3 wins. Everything gets nuts. Now, let's get on to the main event. Show me the swipe. The game of the week. It's the one we've all circled on our calendars for months. It is, of course, She Duked on My Johnson, 8-2, first place, going up against the newly named GOAT Killa. All I hear is goat-faced Killa. 5 and 5 at Who Gives a Fuck. It's all about this week for him. The line on this one, dead, goddamn. If it was any more even, I don't know what it'd be. It'd be something really even. It'd be like number 2. If this line was any more even, it would be like the number 2. It's so fucking even. The thing that really chaps the GOAT's ass, the all-time record. Guess what that is? Moto. 1 zip. I know we don't talk about other leagues in this league because every league is inferior to the KML. However, we'll talk about some AAA for a second. AAA, same matchup. This could be a 2-for-1. This could be interesting this week. I'm excited to see what happens. There could be a very sad little boy up in Brighton Knoll. That's all I know. Anyway, the GOAT bleeds. Lost to Rogers last week. Moto beat Jared. Got a little bit tight there at the end. He started sweating a little bit. His ball sack went sucked up just a little bit on that one. But in the end, he was able to pull out the win. So, the thing that's going to be interesting about this one, I love this matchup for many reasons. We got an MMNF matchup. That means Mexican Monday Night Football, just like we had a little while earlier. Mexican Monday Night Football, Miller versus Murray. And I think that's where it all comes down to. Miller versus Murray. Who do you like better? You know what? In this matchup, I'm picking with Moto. Not only because I'm picking with my head, I'm also picking with my heart. And I'm picking Moto. I think Latavius Murray has 3 touchdowns, 2-3 touchdowns. Come Mexico, he loves the food, doesn't get the squirts, gets across the goal line. Lock it in, Moto. But keep your televisions tuned to this game. It's going to be crazy. With that said, now we're going to take a second to play, look at some playoff stuff. Show me a swipe. Let's lock it up. Give me my promo reel. Let's talk playoffs. Playoff look. As I mentioned before, I want to take a moment to talk about the remaining 3 games, kind of look at the playoff picture, see where different people are, and who might have a shot here. I'm going to pop up a graphic right now. We have run some scenarios. Well, first off, I want to let everybody know, I've run some scenarios, and only one, our stats department, I should say, our stats department has run some scenarios, and only one team is mathematically eliminated from the KML playoffs. That, of course, is J-Rod the Bob Limbach. I apologize to you, J-Rod the Bob. Better luck next year. Now on to the teams that matter. Everybody else is in it. All the 3-win teams still have a shot. The one thing that is interesting is if you look at the way the schedules worked out, the 4 teams who are locked into playoffs pretty much, Duke, Reeder, KBG, and Whitemare, they're pretty much locked, so there's a 5th and 6th seeder up for grabs. They play a lot of the lower seeded teams, so if the rich get richer, the 1% can beat up on the 99%, interesting stuff's going to happen, because if the bottom guys, there's not a lot of intra-games between the bottom guys, and if those guys beat the people they're up against, beat the rivals, tiebreakers come into it, there's a whole bunch of crazy shit that happens. So, pull up that graphic, stats department, pull up that graphic if you could. Okay, great, thank you. Looking at this graphic, this is essentially, my stats department pulled together the last 3 games of the season, what the record of the remaining teams is, wins and losses, and how many points they've scored points for. And then we broke down the points for according to what that equates to on a per-game average. So here you can see Vitaly has the worst remaining schedule. His teams that he's about to play the last 3 games score on an average over 100 points. That's 6.7 points more than the average for the league. Whereas if you look at the other side, the K-Boat Ghosts have the easiest remaining schedule. Their team scored an average of 90 points, just under 90 points, which is 5 points less than on average in the KML this year. Now, I have highlighted, my stats department has highlighted the teams that are still vying for a playoff spot. I should have probably just deleted J-Rod the Bob Limbach, but you see he's got a tough road to the keg. To stay off that keg watch, he's going to have a couple episodes coming through there. As you can see by this, things could get pretty interesting. If Bill and Minot, and even Rob to an extent, but I don't like Rob, so we'll talk about it. But if Bill and Minot can take care of business, they might be sitting in pretty good position in another couple weeks here. We are going to have to wait and see. This is a must-win week for the Bill-Rob matchup. I think Bill has to win to stay alive. If he loses, I don't think he gets in. However, we could see a 5-win team sneak into the 6th seed. I don't know if it's going to happen. Too early to tell, but that is a complete possibility at this point. So, here's what it looks like. Just wanted to roll that out. Okay, get that graphic off there. Get that, okay. Thank you. So with that said, I just want everybody to have a great week this week. This is going to be a great week. We're going to see how many teams might get eliminated. It's a must-win for like 3 or 4 different teams, not to mention all the other teams that still need those tiebreakers and those matchups. Keep an eye on it. We're going to have a great Mexican Monday Night Football out there. And to everybody out in the world, enjoy the week. Until next time, I'm your host, Mike Morano. Thanks for tuning in to KML Weekly Preview. Good night.